Welcome once again to MX Talks. I'm Dion, as usual. Today is a little different because I have a new co-host with me. She might be familiar to those of you who tuned into our previous Twitter space last week. You're hearing a new voice. It's none other than Jemmy. So, Jemmy, could you introduce us to what we'll be talking about today?
Yeah, of course. So today we, along with our guest speakers, will be discussing how implementing AI technologies into trading systems can benefit or challenge the way we invest and trade. And we are very excited to present our three very knowledgeable speakers to shed some light on this issue. But before we begin, perhaps Dion could explain to our viewers a little bit of what Margin X is.
Yes. So MarginX is a Cosmos-based DEX built on the FunctionX network, and we are the trendiest DEX by degens for degens. We've recently listed the perpetual contracts for the latest trending tokens like Cheems and Audi, and we'll be listing even more in the upcoming weeks. So if you want more information, you can always visit us at marginx.io.
All right, so we'll now let our speakers introduce themselves, and perhaps we could start with Leo because I invited you to come as a speaker. Maybe you could unmute your mic and tell viewers who you are, what do you do, how do you get in crypto, etc. So Leo could take it away.
Hi everyone, this is Leo, and good afternoon. I am based in Hong Kong, and I start buying my first BTC back to 2017, and now I'm a full-time crypto influencer and trader, and I have my YouTube channel since 2020, and I'm excited to listen what I can learn from here today.
Thanks so much, Leo. We are also excited to hear what we can learn from you today. Moving on, our next speaker, Lubin from Rocket Capital. Lubin, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Lu Bin. Thanks so much for having me here today. Looking forward to learn from everyone as well. I started getting involved in crypto from a more technical standpoint. Me and a few other friends who were in finance. I mean, in back in 2017 when there were a lot of ICOs, we tried to build a project, and I was the technical person trying to build our project on the blockchain. Since then, I've been part of a small crypto exchange in Singapore, working with trying to get licensed and with some of the getting through the regulatory requirements. And then right now, I'm the blockchain architect at a hedge fund, also in Singapore. And what we do, we have a fully crypto portfolio, and we try to generate trading strategies from crowdsourced machine learning models.
Well, thanks, Lubin. I'm very excited to learn more from you in this Twitter space. And finally, we also have our third guest is none other than Shin himself. If you're wondering why Shin is a speaker today, maybe perhaps you could ask Shin. Shin, you could take it away now.
All right, thanks, Jamie. My name is Shin. So for those of you who follow us on MarginX, I used to be the co-host. Jamie has displaced my position there, at least for today. But yeah, I've always introduced myself as my background was always in initially in physics, but then eventually in data science and AI and machine learning. So I thought maybe I could be a speaker for this round and leave the heavy lifting to Jamie and Dion. If those who haven't followed us before, yes, I'm Shane. I'm one of the core contributors to MarginX, which is a decentralized exchange. Dion has introduced that very nicely earlier. But before working on MarginX, I was actually the head of consulting and AI machine learning at a multinational company. So I've taken a great interest in building AI models and developing machine learning for a lot of various purposes. from manufacturing to customer segmentation, and more recently, of course, in the blockchain space, it's about applying AI machine learning to trading. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing some of my experience and insights in this field.
So Shin, you just mentioned that AI and trading, right? Understanding your knowledge of these two fields, maybe you could kickstart this Twitter space by sharing with us if you know any trading systems currently using AI technology, and can you tell us more about them?
On a wider field, I don't know. Maybe Lubin's a better person to talk about that. But obviously, I could point out that Lubin's project Rocket Capital it's actually working on AI-driven, crowdsourced AI-driven trading strategy. At MarginX, we as well have an AI-driven trading bot, and I think with generative AI, ChatGPT and so on being so popular these days, the likes of using AI for trading is going to be only more and more popular. We don't really see this in the mainstream exchanges yet, but I think it's going to come. Um, we can talk about the challenges involved in it and why the mainstream exchanges is a bit slow to adopt that, but I certainly think that it is a field that is going to be reckoned with in the next 12 months. Dion, you and I, we made a couple of videos about AI 6 months ago or a few months ago, I think, which, I played down ChatGPT being just a more fancy version of Google, and how I couldn't be more wrong about that, because 3 months down the road, it has been applied to a whole slew of applications, and it's transforming the way people are using computers. And I don't see why this wouldn't happen on trading as well. The key is using AI is it just have to be. I'll leave some of the details later, but I'll just give a bit of a trailer, so to speak. But I think the difficult bit about using AI is that it's a bit of a black box. So people just say use AI, but your AI and my AI, your model, my model, can be vastly different. So to normal people, you have to be able to distinguish between what makes a model, uh, you know, a good performing model versus a bad performing model. How do you evaluate that? So I think that's the key, and which is why lay people will have to have a bit of understanding of how AI models are being developed.
Well, thanks, Shin, for your answer. Since you mentioned Rocket Capital, so I think it makes sense for Lubin himself to explain the question a little bit further. So, any trading systems currently using AI technology, and can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, to speak to the question, I think there are many firms, and I think many traders do use AI in their trading. And I think a lot of these, kind of like what Shin was just saying, I think it, AI is a very open-ended um, kind of field. I guess I think for people to apply that to the trading, you read papers, you do your experiments to try to figure out something that is profitable for you. And uh, so I think in terms of trying to apply machine learning, you need people that can do human learning well in order to apply these in a way that is will end up being profitable. And so I was saying, I think there are a lot of firms that do apply AI. I think many of them do, when they found something that works, they do keep them secret, or they try to keep them hidden for a while so that they don't expose their strategies to others. I guess I can speak the things that I know. I can speak a bit more to what we are doing at Rocket Capital. So we are a hedge fund. What we do is we crowdsource predictions from a community of data scientists. So how we do this is we run a data science competition It's run on the blockchain with token incentives, and every cycle we get these predictions from the community of data scientists, and then we use those predictions. I mean, we have a way of aggregating them together, and then we use it to determine our portfolio allocation. And then for this community, depending on the performance of their predictions, they are rewarded accordingly. And part of the so I mean we employ AI. I think we do something a little bit different probably from what how many firms employ AI. Part of our rationale is to diversify risk within a team or even within a company. The way we think after a while can sometimes tend to be a bit similar. And in terms of AI as well, if you have a team of AI engineers, perhaps over time the way they design their AI models can get a little bit similar as well. And so we want to be diversified. So what we try to do is we tap into something called the wisdom of the crowd, where we try to have a community. People are hopefully over time the community grows, but that there's a lot of changes there, and you get people with different perspectives trying to apply their learnings and the way they put that learning into their AI models as well. And I mean, if I can add on, another way of looking at it is, as a smaller team, we're simply not smart enough compared to the intelligence that's out there. And so we try to tap on this collective intelligence. So I guess from our perspective, what AI, the benefit of AI is it's a way that we can use to tap on a collective intelligence from the community.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, I wasn't really aware of how, technicalities of how Rocket Capital operates. So like that kind of gave me more of an idea of how we can use this collective governance to to provide, more data and and help help feed these systems with more accurate data as well. And I think when when talking about trading, like Leo, you are a trader yourself, so would you have anything to add on to maybe some trading systems that you have used that have used AI to, to operate, to make things better? Maybe you can give us a bit more idea about how AI could benefit the user point of view.
Yeah, as you say, I'm more coming from the angle of a trader or a normal user. And if you ask me if I am using a really AI system as of now, my answer will be no, because for myself, I have a higher expectation on AI, because I expect that the true AI machine or true AI trading system is not like the algo trade. I think it will be, or it should be another step forward from the algo trade. We are not only giving the if not then else something instruction to the machine. Is I'm expecting some kind of prediction, some auto analysis, and it will give some suggestions to me compared with the algo trading. So as of now on the market, I don't see a normal user can access the true AI system easily. What we can see is some like a year ago, every system or every company saying we have something related to metaverse, but for now it's like everyone is saying in every business they try to have something related to AI. And but to be honest, I don't see anything really AI as of now. What I can see is I can see on some exchanges they claim that they have some AI power bots, but actually I think it's still on the level of algo trading. Like I give you some instruction, and then the machine or the computer will make the trade for me. It's not something analysis, not yet that level. And I also see Binance try to use the AI to have their own chat, like they call it Binance Sensei. so it can answer your questions quickly and have some knowledge for you. But for now, personally, I didn't see any uh, really AI system which is up to my expectation on the market.
Well, thanks, Leo, for your perspective. I think this Twitter space is going to have a very engaging talk indeed. So moving on to the next question I have. How can AI benefit investment and trading even further compared to traditional methods? Perhaps Lubin or Shin want to jump into this, cover different areas like prediction or risk analysis, etc.
So I just want to add on to what Leo has mentioned. I think what Leo mentioned is I would in part I would agree with him that it's very difficult to distinguish what's on the market that's really AI and what's not. Everyone claims they have some sort of AI and machine learning. Um, and to digress a bit, I mean, to be fair, a lot of things in the blockchain sphere is a bit like that. Everyone claims themselves to be a decentralized exchange, but an exchange has many different components. If you decentralize any small part of it, you claim yourself to be a decentralized exchange, right? Just to put it in a bit of little ads, not unlike MarginX, where we try to decentralize every single component that we have on exchange, from settlement engine to the order book and etc. etc. But the same can be said about AI as well, right? When you do trading, there are a lot of components to trading. So which part of it do you actually develop the AI for? So as Leo correctly pointed out, some of them actually develop AI as sort of like a chat GPT, as kind of a customer support level. Um, and I don't think that's very useful and helpful, to be honest, from my point of view. And then there are some people who go one step further, who uses AI, but again, I think Leo has a point that a lot of it is being done using technical indicators, and they just mash it up. And one step further than that, I tend to see a lot of companies, even as far back as a year ago in last year's Singapore FinTech Festival, there are a lot of data scientists and machine learning who start to use these ones, AI and machine learning to create indicators. So as a supplement indicator to all the technical indicators that everyone has already looked at. But I just want to very quickly bring to my main point that I want to say here. I believe Lubin will have the same opinion as I have, because I have spoken to Lubin before. But I think the AI and machine learning that I predominantly is talking about is those of predictive analytics, which basically means that we take a combination of structured and unstructured data, right? The data from GDP, crawling from the Twitter, uh, combining with traditional indicators, candlesticks, indicators, and combine that into a sort of a simple buy or sell decision making. Now, I think there are quite a number of traders out there. To Lubin's point, I think a lot of traders out there has been using this, but they haven't been revealing it at all. But not a lot of people. I think they're only seeing. So earlier when I said that I don't see it in a lot of mainstream exchanges, what I mean is that uh, it's not like like grid trading. Uh, Hopi and Binance would say that, yeah, we have this trading bots, which is great trading. You can come and trade with us. What I'm saying is that I think in the next 12 months or so, more and more exchanges will come out with a product very similar to Rocket Capital as well, where they say that, we have developed this AI bot, we have developed this AI strategy. It's going to help you make decision. Its performance is how many APR, and what's the winning rate, and all you have to do is just put money into this bot, and we'll help you trade. Now that one, it's not popular yet. It's not out there in the mainstream yet, I feel, which is why I think Lubin's project is very interesting. But at the same time, I think that is going to happen very quickly in the next 12 months, right? Actual predictive analytics on trading that gives you a clear buy on sell signal. So to that end, I just want to end my my opinion on this one, that I reiterate the point that it's very difficult without much AI and machine learning knowledge to be able to know. So, like for example, as a machine learning and data scientist, when we evaluate our AI models, we know we build a lot of validation models, right, to ensure that our AI is doing what it's supposed to do because it's a black box, right? We have confusion matrix, we have to look at the precision curve, the ROC curve, and all these things if you're familiar with machine learning. And so for the people who doesn't know much about all these technical mathematical terms, it's very difficult for them to know which one is legit and which one is just slapping on a label that call themselves AI, but actually under the hood is just another technical indicator, as Leo put it. Yeah. But again, just in a summary, I agree that at the moment right now it's very difficult to differentiate. But I think in the next 12 months, a lot's going to change. A lot more people is going to use actual AI trading or predictive analytics kind of AI to do trading. And then the industry might shift towards an environment where people have to understand better how AI models are developed so that they can actually validate the models themselves.
All right. Thanks, Shin, for providing us with an overview of what's being done currently. Lubin, I wanted to ask you, because, well, with Rocket Capital, what Rocket Capital right now is doing, to further add on to the question, how do you think what you guys are doing can really benefit investment and trading? And also, what are some future benefits you think we can look forward to?
I mean, speaking to the question, what the benefit or what edge does AI give in terms of investment and trading? I mean, if I can add on to a point that Shin made earlier about this whole thing being I mean, not whole thing, but sometimes parts of AI being a black box. I think what AI can give us is maybe some analysis of maybe certain patterns that we wouldn't be able to see without the techniques used with AI. And so I mean, in some sense, I would say that maybe that's the advantage over other systems or over tradition just humans eyeballing a certain graph and things like that. But I mean, I would also add on that there are pros and cons to this. The pros is it help you give you some insights, help you see things in the data that you might not otherwise see. But it being a black box, it's also sometimes hard to understand why the numbers are the way they are. For example, if you get a certain indicator, a certain piece of data that you see corresponds very well to how a certain stock or how a certain crypto might perform. But if we are not able to reason for it, there could be risks there as well. And I think that's also, I would say, a risk in terms of this predictive trying to do things with prediction, is that we are working with historical data, but things could happen in the future that has no indication in the past data. So I think maybe to this point, I would say that all these has to come with sound risk management, and of course, again, in terms of risk management, there could be AI methods that you try to apply to your risk management as well, to come up with certain risk strategies to go along with your predictions. I would say that to close off this point, what Rocket tries to do with this is that, again, we try to gather predictions or use the AI models from a crowd of people, so that we're not too reliant on just one. Sometimes one person could or one team of people could do well for a period of time, and it's emotionally it feels great to see, say, your P&L line keep going up. But I think we try to be cautious as well. So we try to do something where we are able to leverage on how well this one person is doing, but also diversify that. Keeping in mind that no one is perfect, and uh, trying to make the most out of what everyone can contribute to come up with a system uh, that is reasonably guarded against that uh, bad market movements and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that with AI, there are pros and cons, with in terms of what it can bring to the investment, and I think however it's done has to come along with sound risk management.
Yeah, I mean, I may not be the expert here, but what I'm getting is that with more data, there are less biases also. I mean, like with each individual trader watching um, the charts, like there may be a certain bias when you make a prediction based on a human being's like opinions. But with AI, with more data, more accurate predictions can be made. That's kind of what I'm getting from what you're saying, Lubin. And yeah, I think it's quite interesting. Move, I guess moving forward to I wanted to understand um, like Leo's perspective on how you think that AI could benefit investment and trading. Because just now you mentioned that currently the systems that claim that they are using AI, they're not really up to your expectations. So um, I wanted to ask you, what would you like to see?
I think I mostly agree with the two gentlemen, and I think the first issue they mentioned is about the bad boss, but I think what I expect AI is instead of I invest you some money and then you do the trade directly for me. What I expect is you explain to me why the AI is making that decision, or at the end of the day is maybe we don't need to actually invest the money there and then have the AI to directly invest for you. In between, I expect AI to provide me like a for what data this AI is input, like maybe some AI only input some news, some of them some social media thing, the other from some other investment indicator, and then they will provide like a report, like what the banks are doing, like why they think the market is going that way or the other way, and then maybe they will give some analysis like how many percent, like because we know that trading or prediction is and I want everyone to understand that. I mean, because I saw many traders or many people like they when they hear about algo trading or AI trading, they think that most of them are winning or or there will be a very high percentage of winning rates. I don't think that is the case, and I think the AI is giving us some opinion of database that output only. What the market or how the market is going is hard to predict, because and as we said before, like the market is changing every day, and of course when more people doing the algo trade or algo trading or AI trading, the market will change again, because I mean more of the people are using different strategy, and then the market will change, and the way that I expect AI to do for me is provide me some AI report or some views or some ideas that which I have not think before, like maybe some of the news that I miss, or maybe some of the indicator I miss, then it can offer me some opinions to help me to make some decision. Not like we are doing on some exchanges like doing some copy trade, like copy others and don't know what he is thinking or don't know what the strategy behind. That is something I look forward to AI can do.
Well, thanks, Leo. I like how you pointed out that general public, like general users, usually don't understand how AI or algo trade works, and the expectation and the reality is still a little bit like differ. So, actually, I want to go back to how AI benefits our traders, perhaps in different aspects like security, sales, or convenience or regulations. Perhaps Shin could offer a little bit more of your perspective on that.
So, Jeremy, did you say on regulations? Could you repeat the last bit of your question again?
Yeah, security or regulations or convenience, etc. Like other aspects other than just predicting the market or risk analysis.
Sure. I think so. My focus is mainly on the trading itself, obviously. So yes, that's a very good point to talk about how AI can help in other aspect apart from trading. As I think Leo pointed out, very good. Is it what Leo just mentioned as a good segue to your question, because while people like me, who is more of a data scientist, we try to build models that is very predictive, and it tends to be a bit of a black box. So unfortunately, I think what Leo is hope for, that we can come out, that AI can come out and report. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's rather difficult, right? And I think a lot of data scientists around the world is actually struggling with that. This is actually a field where it's called interpretable AI, because AI is inherently a black box, and so a lot of work is being put to effort to actually interpret what the black box means. And that is actually important, right? To traders like Leo, they can't just trade blindly, having a blind faith saying that yeah, this black box works. And I think that is said that is also true in other aspects, because I've worked in other industries before. The CEOs, they can't make decision based on the fact that AI tells them so. So we have to have some way of actually of telling them that what this black box actually mean and how it comes to such decision. Uh, so I think there might be some kind of compromise which we can reach to there, but I don't think it's so straightforward where the AI can actually explain to you how that decision is made, because after all, that decision is made based on considering thousands or maybe millions of factors simultaneously, and to actually summarize that into one sentence where like Lubin said, right, the whole point of us using AI and machine learning is because there are certain things that we as humans can't see, because we humans typically see two graphs, 2 dimensions at most, 3 dimensions maybe if you're Einstein, but 4 dimensions, I think we need math. More than 4 dimension, maybe even mathematical models can't explain it, and we have to use a more complex feature or a solution space to reach to that conclusion, right? So you can see that complex problem of interpreting the results of an AM. But sorry, I digress a bit from your question, Jeremy. But your question is actually whether we can apply AI to other areas other than trading. But my previous answer is actually related to that, because AI with generative AI, generative AI and whatnot, we can quickly see that we can integrate multiple facets of trading. So trading is just not about pressing the button of buy and short, long and short. It's also about portfolio management. It's about understanding the risk. It's also helping you to make decisions. And in that way, AI can actually help you summarize a lot of the news out there. It can actually help you to give you some financial advice based on popular, it's not helping you to make that decision, but it's helping you to summarize the news and the decisions out there and the investment and the sentiment out there, and give you a report that tells you what is the current situation, and you make that final call yourself. So that's one aspect where I think AI can really benefit from, especially seeing how GPT-4 is being so powerful these days. The other part is on regulations. Um, I don't think, if I understand your questions correctly, how AI can help with regulations. As far as I can see, I don't see how AI can help with regulations, but I see it's the other way around, like how regulations would come in for AI. I think this is a lot of people is talking about this already. Like if AI continues its current path, uh, it might reach a point where AI is quite indistinguishable from human decisions or human, at least when it comes to chatting. And so I think it will be the other way around, where regulation will start to come in to say that what kind of AI is responsible and what kind of AI is not responsible, is unethical, and can't do that. Um, because at the moment there's little regulations on AI, right? The only when I was working in the machine learning and AI field in the payments industry, the only regulations we have is privacy regulations. So whatever data that you use for your models, you can't take it from people's uh, you know uh, private data without their consent. That is the only restriction that we have with regards to regulations. But I think this is going to be increasingly complex, and there are going to be more regulations on what you can do with AI and what you can't do with AI. What and especially if you can imagine when AI starts giving out human-like financial advice, then regulations might come in to say that, might mandate you to say that you have to plaster some kind of warning somewhere on your website that says that this is not a human generated financial advice, but it's an AI generated financial advice, and so on and so forth. So these are the areas where I think will grow very rapidly as well in the next couple of months. I'm not sure if I've directly answered your question, Jeremy, but yeah, let me know if you want me to add on to any part of my answer.
Yeah, that's no problem, Shin. I think you mentioned quite a bit on how AI could benefit, and also you kind of started talking about the challenges. I think all of you speakers have mentioned so far that AI is a black box, and I kind of want to zoom into that and start off with asking, like when Shin mentioned um, there were some there have been some regulations about what kind of data you can tap into to use for creating AI systems. Lubin, like for Rocket, is that a challenge that you guys have faced, or any more pertinent challenges that you think AI has posed into creating a more robust system?
Okay, I guess the first part of the question with regards to data and ethics, I'd say that at the moment, not really. I guess in terms of the data that we use to try to apply AI to the financial markets, they generally don't have to do with people's personal information, nor does it touch on things like creative content. When if artists make an image and then the AI model uses those images to generate new images, it doesn't really touch on that. I mean, like it's other financial data that is either already public, in that sense, not owned by anyone, or they are owned by people who give out about who sell this data for a price, and if we want that, we pay a price to get that. I add that I mean, since we're in terms of the blockchain, that is maybe one area that does give some helps with AI in that sense, because these transactions that happen on the blockchain, they are not well, they're transparent and they're public. So the in terms of transactions on the blockchain and all this activity there, and whatever insight you want to derive from there, it's publicly available. So I'd go in terms of the next part of the question on the challenges. I mean, we talked about the black box thing. I think we talked about, I mean, like like Leo touched on, there are a lot of things that are, it's you may have a front end AI chatbot, but then in the end, what it does is just help you select a strategy that is not really AI, and things like that. I maybe would add that in terms of AI for trading, I think another challenge could be that there are, I think in the financial markets there's noise that, at least to me, it's a different beast from AI in other things. I mean, what I mean is, for example, maybe with AI for, let's say, self-driving cars, and either in a sense there's a certain pattern in the way humans drive, or the way that cars need to look out. So what I'm trying to say is that, as for a data scientist or an AI engineer to work on this, it could be something that if you put in effort, put in time to keep doing, you feel like you're moving towards the target of having a self-driving car. In the financial markets, I think there are a lot of times when you try to work with a model, put it, and then it feels like, it's going somewhere for a while, and then, everything could change in a day, and the model just doesn't work anymore. Just, I think, from the nature of how the markets work. And so I think that, and, I mean, Shane could probably speak more to, what they call this, what the terms they use for this, this kind of phenomena. But I think, to me at least, that's one of the challenges that is that, working with, trying to use data to try to do prediction, or do other things to apply AI on the financial markets. It's a different ball game than AI in other industries.
Thanks, Lubin. It's good to know that ethics is currently not an issue when it comes to AI trading at the moment, because the last thing we want is AI to control our funds to do some unethical stuff. So, the next question I would like to ask Leo, are there any challenges you might have faced or you think might be a potential issue when implementing AI for trading or investment? Like, you can talk about any aspects that you potentially see as a problem.
When I do some research before this space, I saw something called AI bias, like how you build the AI, what information you input to the AI may cause AI bias, and which will make some false prediction or analysis. I think that is one of the challenges or interesting thing to look into. And the other thing is, when these bias happen, how to update the AI, or how do we determine what to do with this. And the other thing is, more or like nowadays maybe many of the AIs looking at the social media posts for some analysis, but as we see a lot in the last few months, there are some FUD, what we so call, but sometimes I'm thinking like, if we use AI more and more, and we people know the AI is reading the social media posts, will there be another AI to to generate some other fake information to try to confuse the AI to do the decision making? I think that is some of the challenges that I can think of.
Oh yeah, it's actually quite a good point that you raised about fake information, because I mean, I would assume that some of the data that is being fed into the AI system might be fake, just like how ChatGPT gave me the wrong answer to a math question. And Shin, I realized
Yeah, I want
you
to add
haven't.
on to something that both Leo and has
Yeah.
mentioned. I think those are very good points.
Mm.
Like Lubin mentioned about the model drift. So like one day the AI model works, the next day it doesn't. And Leo mentioned about the fact that you can write an AI that attacks, that counters another AI, that creates a bias for another AI. Those are very, very valid point. And I just want to share with you guys, if maybe some of you have heard it before. It's a bit outdated, this story, but it's a true story. I think about 6-7 years ago, when AI was just getting deep learning was just getting popular. They managed. So one of the greatest achievement of deep learning was able to recognize pictures, right? Pictures of, is this a dog, is this a bird, is this a cat, and so on and so forth. So that time deep learning came out and it broke all the record in the AI. But what was interesting is, like, the deep learning model could accurately predict if this is a picture of a dog or a cat, for example. But by just changing one pixel, like, in a, I don't know how big that actual picture is, probably 600 by 600 or 300 by 300, I don't know. But by just changing one single pixel and just making it completely white, that deep learning would, there's one particular case where the model would actually predict wrongly. It would say that it's a cat instead of a dog, just because of changing one pixel from black to white, right? And this is a very famous example of AI having a bias, and AI being a black box. We don't know why they do this. All we know is that AI occasionally makes mistakes, and we have to accept that. And so when it comes to trading, all these problems crop up, right? Like the biasness. If it makes a wrong decision today, is it just one of those? Because it's a probability question, right? Is this one of those probability kind of mistakes that the model would make, or is there a more fundamental error that this model has made, right? So I think those are very, very valid questions. And if you can imagine, and no matter, at least as far as you can see now, no matter how smart the AI is right now, he would have no idea about certain funny human behaviors, right? Like, for example, Elon Musk suddenly today would say something and then Dogecoin would go up. I have no freaking idea how an AI would be able to predict that, unless you hard code it and say that if Elon says anything about anything about cryptos and Dogecoin might probably go up. It's difficult, right? Like, and so these are the part where when AI becomes prevalent, more and more people will, as Leo put it, gamify this AI, and then the AI has to be better than that and to be able to distinguish what are noises and what are not. So these are the challenges, I do admit. But I think it will be an interesting challenge, though.
Shin, so other than that, did you have more to add on? Because I realized that you didn't really get to speak on the challenges, and I was wondering if you had more to say about the challenges in other aspects.
In other aspects, meaning, because I certainly have talked a lot about the challenges when it comes to
Yeah, when it comes to trading, yeah. But I mean, like, in terms of complexity or security or even speed, I'm not sure whether, it might slow things down uh, when uh, when you use AI for trading.
I don't think that's a huge issue yet, because I think AI in trading, or AI in general, is at its beginning. So we haven't reached the stage where we want to use AI for high frequency trading, for example, right? So obviously that wouldn't work. At least I can't see how it would work. But again, things would change very rapidly in the world of AI, right? But because the fact that AI we have to look at a number of data and make predictions, and they would need time to calculate. So maybe, yeah, you can't use it for high frequency trading. But then again, you don't need AI for high frequency trading. It's a wrong tool to use for high frequency trading, in my opinion. It's more, so we can use AI where it is slightly slower. We can use it for in other areas of trading, and also I think AI is developing really fast. Let's not forget the whole reason we are where we are today with AI. It's all because of mostly because of deep learning, and a lot of the models that we have right now, it's a derivative of deep learning models. And what made deep learning possible? The concept isn't new, by the way. If you really look at the technicalities of deep learning, it's not new. It's just that we simply didn't have the computing power um, when it first emerged that we can build something called deep learning, in the 1990s, or maybe in those days. I'm not sure the exactly first day, but it was before the 21st century, right? That first talk about deep learning, but they simply did not have the computing power. And then for a while, the computer science people just forgot about it, and even if they do talk about it, it's something that they only could do in the labs or at the university where they have massive supercomputers. And then one day people realize, hang on a minute, what these guys tried to do 20 years ago, we can actually do it now, right? With our personal laptops, because computing power is there. So when it comes to speed, I think that continues to evolve, which is why, this is not a trading advice, by the way, which is why some of my friends are telling me that with all the AI hype, the only real stock that you have to be uh, uh, concerned with, it's really not Microsoft being all these companies that will be using AI. It's actually Nvidia, which is producing the GPUs and the hardwares for driving all this AI. So anyway, this is not a financial advice, right? This is just a joke that my friend in the AI industry, we talk about over a coffee shop. So yeah, so speed is I don't think it's a problem right now. It is a challenge, but it's not a major challenge that's going to uh, stop AI from developing. Um, so I've talked about this, and I like about ethics and regulation. I spoke about this as well. Uh, I I I understand that fair enough that Lupin says that at the moment trading has is not taking any private information of the users, and plus the nature of blockchain is that a lot of your private information is kept away from whoever it is that's using the building the AI models. um, but I'm thinking that this is just my gut feeling that as AI becomes more and more prevalent, um, regulations will get tighter. Now let me explain a little bit why I think this is so. Right, private data is loosely defined as any data that could help me identify you. So it doesn't have to be your name, right? Obviously, I can know you. You are you, like you're called Dion, so you are you. Yes, but if I have any data that I could help to identify it's you, right, by like the way you like to have lunch and where you like to go for traveling, that is also privacy data, although I do not have a name attached to it, right? And with AI coming in, how we are able to very very intelligently capture people's life and accurately, it's a bit of a balancing act, right? The more powerful AI is, the more invasive it's going to be, and the more it's going to know about you. And at one point, the AI is probably going to know more about you than you know about yourself. And that's when regulation will start to kick in. When that's going to happen, I don't know. Certainly there hasn't been any action yet. I mean, point in case is like SEC took years before they took action on Binance, right? So this is just me being the the pessimist side of me, saying that I think this is coming for us soon, but it's not something that we have to worry tomorrow.
Thank you, Shin. I particularly like your sharing on deep learning, and I did not know about how AI could mistakenly recognize a dog as a cat. So, well, I learned something from you, and hopefully the audience learned something from all of our speakers as well. So, moving on to the next question, I would like to ask Lupin, could you see like AI potentially replace human traders entirely, or are there aspects of trading that will always require a human touch?
It's a good question. I think, I mean, if I understand the question right, and another way of saying it is, can AI eventually replace the human touch? I think that it needs time, but I'd say eventually yes. I guess from my perspective, I'm not seeing, what could potentially make it impossible to replace a human touch. I mean, I think given time to develop these models to say mimic what a human based on a human's experiences and upbringing, what they'll do. I think given eventually, I think at some point we can reach that stage. I would, I mean, maybe the point I would add is that, I think what we are trying, or what we want to achieve, technologically here is also to maybe do something that can perform, that takes the good parts of the human touch and does away with the bad parts. I guess, I was thinking about the Chat GPT example that Yon shared earlier. I mean, we all, you use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gives wrong answers sometimes. I mean, last week I was using it and like, getting frustrated with ChatGPT, and typing some nasty replies to a robot. But I mean, I was just thinking, even with say a human being, if you're on the phone with a customer service person, I mean, there are times when they also, misunderstand, what you're trying to ask, or they provide the wrong information. So I guess, to answer the question simply, I would say that given time, yes, I think so. And then my add-on would be that we want something more than a human touch. We're trying to develop something where we take the good parts of the human touch and do away with the bad parts.
So, Luvin, you actually think that AI could potentially replace the human touch? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that given time, that it can change. Yeah, but I will also add, that in terms of trading, like what Leo was saying earlier. So I mean, eventually, you have you end up with a world where, I mean, now you have some machines, some algorithms, some AI, and then human traders that are trading against each other. Let's say we reach a point that it's just AI, machines, trading against each other, in this world. I mean, and that as it evolves, the game will evolve as well. Like, these AI, machines that were trained to trade against other human traders or against other simply like algorithmic models, they'd have, to evolve and learn how to trade against other AI, and then the next level you get to a point where these AI models that are trained to trade against other AI models that were already trained to trade against other AI models, and then I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's something that will keep evolving in terms of the trading part of it. We will replace. I think AI could replace the human touch, but then it doesn't mean that it's solved. Like they have to keep evolving as well.
Oh, cool. Okay. I did not expect you to say that. But okay, now we have you in the AI will be able to replace the human touch camp. Leo, which camp are you on? Like, do you believe that AI could one day replace a human trader entirely, maybe?
For now, I cannot imagine how it can entirely replace human traders. But maybe one day I will say, all of us will have a AI trading assistant. Like, you don't have to, when you put in a trade, or when you try to predict the market, the AI assistant maybe will tell you some ideas which he or she have, and then you finally make the decision yourself. But when after you make the decision, and then it will base on your input, then maybe it does auto trade for like 1 month, or like at least a period of time. So maybe we don't have to monitor the market every day or even every hour. I think it will able to save us some time, or some energy, or or we will not be too emotional on trading. That is something I can think of now. But of course, the other guests suggest, like the AI is improving day by day. So for now, I don't think it is entirely. We are talking about entirely possible. But in the background, or in the middle of our trading, there may be something that in one day we must have AI in between trading or some other investment?
Yeah, I agree it's a bit hard to tell right now, but it sounds like what you're saying is that at least certain aspects of AI will help with, human emotions, human biases. And yeah, like I wanted to add on that definitely, I agree it's hard to tell because Shin mentioned in our previous Twitter space that just a few months ago he was saying AI will not take over the world, and then now he's not so sure. So Shin, are you sure now? Have you made a decision?
Yeah, I still don't think AI is going to take over the world, but it has certainly uh, made me doubt my opinion on that. But yeah, I still think the scenario would be more likely the case where Leo mentioned, where people will have an AI assisted, there's an AI assisting you trading, giving you advice on the side, uh, and maybe help you do some trades. I think that's something that AI is pretty good at doing for trading. Uh, but in one particular case, because I myself is a trader as well, I might be wrong again. I'm not the most successful trader. I am moderately successful, I would say that. So feel free if there are people out there who to correct me and disagree with me. But I think in a few particular situations where AI is not uh, doing very well yet is in a situation where there's a sudden jump in in the price due to uh, special events, right? For example, we all know that during the time when FOMCs, the price tends to fluctuate a little bit. When SEC sues Binance, when BlackRock considers to have the ETF. In situations like that, it's all about collective human behavior, right? And in those situations, um, AI may be able to predict, but I think with a certain lag, right? The AI might be able to see things coming when they see all the volumes are coming in and they see something's happening, and then you might still get to onto the wave, but you won't be on the first wave. And I feel like trading inherently is, yeah, I think let yeah, I'm a bit spotty when I was talking about this, but I think I've organized my thoughts right now. I think when it comes to trading due to market inefficiencies, I think AI can do a great job, right? But when it comes to trading on market sentiments, I think AI still has a lot of room for improvement. But I believe that most of the profit from market, the largest profit, usually comes from uh, movements due to sentiments. Uh, but yeah, I mean, inefficiency trading based on market inefficiencies works as well. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that, but I think yeah, AI can be good in one aspect and human can be good at other aspect. Um, whether they will replace us or not, we shall see. But although I'm starting to doubt myself, but my stance is still pretty much the same. That I don't think AI is going to replace human completely, not just yet.
I completely agree with what Shane just said. Well, I think AI can't predict what's going on in the market. Like, AI didn't know that the FOMC, the Fed is gonna continue raising interest rate for a year and a half, and there's still some limitations when it comes to AI. But at the same time, it's beneficial in some areas. Well, since we are running out of time, I would like to raise the last question to our speakers. Perhaps Shin could answer my question and enlighten me, because with respect to crypto specific systems like tokens, how do you think AI and such crypto systems might potentially match with each other? Because, for example, when I'm using ChatGPT, it never once crossed my mind that the system needs to introduce a token. So how does it come into play?
So could you repeat that question? I'm still trying to digest your question a little bit. Sorry, Jamie.
It's okay, it's okay. So what I don't really get is that, for example, you see a lot of AI, so-called AI crypto projects in the market, and taking the full advantage when ChatGPT launched back in, I believe, February or something. So when I'm using ChatGPT, it never crossed my mind that it needs to launch a token to the website. So how does all these AI and crypto mesh together, specifically the token side of things?
I see. Well, my opinion on this is that, so I'll give an example, right? MarginX, we ourselves, we don't have our own token. And I guess why I'm saying that is that before we ask that question is, we need to ask ourselves, do we really need a token for everything we do, right? So for example, we'll take MarginX as an example. On FunctionX, we do have a token called FX because we need that token. It has a utility. We need that token as a form of gas fee to keep the blockchain running. But on MarginX, there's actually no apparent reason why we actually need a token to do that. There's no reason at all. But I do understand that a lot of projects out there, they would issue a token as well. And the reason for that is because it's a good way of raising funds. But just to bear in mind that if you're doing that, it's exactly what the SEC is claiming right now, right? Is it a security? If you're issuing this token as if it's a share where you're trying to raise funds to to fund your project, then is that token like your share? And you go into all this rabbit hole and and all this issue. And so that applies to AI as well, right? Do we need to actually have an AI token to use it? It all depends on whether we actually need that AI token or not, right? Are you using that to raise funds for your AI model? Or I think in some cases I've seen a lot of actually more to the academia side of things. They've actually built and blockchain, an AI-based blockchain, where the token is actually used as a form of gas fees in the AI model, where you share data between. So in an AI model, every node produces the same results, and the actual outcome is the average of all the results in every node. And so when you do that and transferring results and sharing data between each nodes, you need to have some form of token for you to facilitate that process and reward people that produces good models and good results. Then I think AI token makes a lot of sense. And I think the blockchain model for AI would eventually be this is a very interesting sphere, because at the moment right now, all the computing power of AI is very much centralized. So for example, ChatGPT is all centralized. Microsoft owns all the servers. It's, I don't know where is it based, but Microsoft owns all the server. But we can essentially decentralize it like a blockchain, where all of this computing power is each of these nodes, which we can then share results and share computing power. And in that case, having an AI token to facilitate this kind of infrastructure makes a lot of sense to me. But I'm kind of, me myself at MarginX, we don't do this. I'm kind of opposed to the fact that, in a blockchain sphere where we issue token for the sake of issuing, because it's to a certain extent, it's sort of like easy money, right? Like people believe in your project, people buy your token, and then you get more funds for it. I'm a little bit opposed to that. I'm not completely opposed to that, but I sort of don't think it's the best model to go forward with, especially when it comes to AI. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think AI needs a lot of data, so maybe blockchain and crypto. That's where it kicks in. What about Lubin? Do you have any perspective when it comes to crypto token integrating with AI systems?
I have to say, on this point, I probably don't have that much to add to what Shin just said. I agree. I think that, projects, AI or otherwise, shouldn't, there's no point in, at least no functional point in issuing tokens, where just for the sake of issuing a token and trying to get money from it. I think what you guys mentioned about the data thing. I think that yes, that could potentially be something that maybe it's not directly AI, but in terms of rewarding people for the data that they provide, that could be an application of this. I guess ultimately what I'm thinking is that the tokens could be used as a form of incentive for whatever actions you do with the AI system, whether it's providing data, whether you're providing computational power, things like that. Perhaps I think there could be some kind of synergy or integration between a crypto token and using that to facilitate these actions for an AI system. Um, I I would maybe the only thing well the last thing I would add is maybe with all these different layer 2 solutions or layer 3 solutions that are coming up, possibly in the future there could be some way to to integrate some kind of AI with the blockchain, in terms of being able to perform AI computation on the blockchain. And it may be a layered solution, meaning that it's not computed by everyone that verifies a certain blockchain node, but it could be that it's performed on a different layer, and then on the main chain you just have to verify something like that. So maybe this could work in this manner in the future.
Yeah, I love what you said, and there are definitely a lot of projects out there might just want to jump into the bandwagon of AI. I would like to ask the last question to Leo, if you want to chip in into your perspective of how token and AI system come into play.
I think Shane and Lubin tell all I want to tell. That's it.
All right, that's great. That's all we need. So we have come to the end of our discussion today. So thank you so much for all of our speakers for a very enlightening discussion, and thank you to all the listeners who tune in for your support. We hope everyone has learned something new today, and don't forget to follow all of our speakers on Twitter, including MarginX, so you know what's going on in the next Twitter space. And thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks, everyone.